For me personally, I would say speaking to brightonSEO, the first one stateside was a big success for me. Obviously, it did really well, met some great people, and hopefully get some leads from that. And the other one, client-wise, there's two specific successes I want to highlight for 2023. First of all, we did outreach, and the team did a really great job for getting links across different regions that we never outreached before. So we got some great links and coverage from South Africa and Brazil and other key countries for our clients. And specifically for one of our sports clients in the US, we were really happy to see that Taylor Swift started dating an NFL player. So we jumped on this opportunity and we did a quick reactive about this, and we got over 30 links in a week, which was absolutely great.
It's just really good to see all the movement in the US at the moment. Like, it's been a huge focus for us over the last couple of years, and to be able to send guys over to San Diego is obviously fantastic. Me and some of the team had the opportunity to go to North Carolina and talk to one of our clients. We did a quarterly business review, which went fantastically. They've been quite a sort of big client to deal with at the moment. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. But it was fantastic, and we've developed a new strategy for them, which has been absolutely brilliant. We are building links across the States and in Canada more than we've ever seen, and that's thanks to the team and coming up with this new strategy, and also the client being flexible as well. So in terms of successes, I think developing that strategy and just sort of hitting new sort of realms of like link building and SEO has been really, really important.
Yeah, I guess in the UK at the moment there's been quite a few barriers that have come up this year with everything from sort of the market getting oversaturated and more brands buying into digital PR, as well as a lot of unfortunate journalist layoffs too, which has just meant a lot of our accounts we've had to like rethink with the strategy. So for one of our travel clients, we took this into account because like we've noticed that a lot more people are looking for humanised stories. So when we're sending expert commentary, they want to have a spokesperson behind the brand. And if you don't have that, you can always work with an external expert. So yeah, we re-strategized and we included some cottage stories, which allowed us to go to a place like The Independent with like product placement. We got some expert insight stories as well, which they're all like, as you know, tabloids are always looking for. And we also did the classic like index locational ones as well, which were good for regionals. So for example, we did one for the Barbie movie, which came out. We had a lovely cottage in Scotland, absolutely gorgeous, 12 bedrooms, a pink castle. And we outreached that for the Barbie movie, and we got some great links from The Independent, Time Out, Express, just to name a few. So I'd say that's one of my favourite successes of the year.
I would say that my personal biggest success is with our interior brand. It's an area in PR that I haven't really worked with before, so it's been really valuable for me to start to build relationships with journalists. I think with interiors as well, it's great because you've got that expert insight as well, and that's something that journalists are always looking for. And with building those relationships, the journalist knows that you're there and they can bank on you if they ever need something, and that's also a contact that you can rely on in the future for results.
Yeah, overall the team's just been performing fantastically. Like, some of the ideas that they're coming out with are just incredible, and like the knowledge that we're sharing amongst each other, the PR 101s that get done, and all sort of like learnings we get from that, and the trainings that people are offering, and the external stuff we're getting as well. It's just sort of taking the team to a whole new level. So much so we're winning all sorts of awards now as well, aren't we?
Yeah, we won the best digital campaign for the MPA and the best large digital agency as well.
My biggest learning of the year is developing relationships with journalists. So that could either be just sending a personalised email to a journalist, mentioning that you've read a recent article, or if you've seen on Twitter that a journalist has moved to a new outlet, sending them a congratulations email and just asking them what their beat is and seeing if you can be of any help, whether that be sourcing some data for them, or if any of your clients could offer expert insight to any of their upcoming articles.
Yeah, I think like bulk send is just a recipe for disaster, so it's always good to add that nice like personal touch as well.
Yeah, that's a big sort of no-no, especially internationally. Like, people in Germany are going to react completely differently to the likes of people in Canada, and even like more sort of like specific levels like radio stations, they much prefer pictures that are very sort of like basic. Whereas like TV channels, which are probably a bit more like high authority, they like pictures that are like a little bit more put together. You're talking like your press release, like full data set. They've got an on-site piece of content as well. So it's just making sure that, yeah, like again, like the contacts and everything's relevant to what it is. Now that sort of goes into your relevancy, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, the biggest learning would be relevancy. You can see it from the journalist perspective because we do have some great contacts across the team, both US and Canadian, and even, you know, across Europe and across the world. Some great relationships with journalists. They do report back to relevancy from their side. They do have a KPI to hit when it comes to how relevant their topic is for their publication, how many clicks they have. So the more relevant your topic is for specifically the brand that you're working for, the more relevant it will be for the journalists. And it all comes down to quality over quantity. That's what we've seen.
Yeah, I think like building on a relevancy as well, it's really important, like client side as well, just have that like sort of agility and flexibility within the strategy. And you've got to sort like more than ever this year, I think it's important for you to push back to the client because you're the expert when it comes to like what's going on in the news agenda. So sometimes things just don't work anymore like they used to, and you have to consider that when you're putting releases. It's not always about pleasing the client, even though it would be nice. It is nice to just to consider just what the journalist wants, I guess.
Definitely. I think that links quite nicely into sort of like the use of media spend as well with certain accounts. Like some clients just think, let's just throw money at it, when in fact that's not the best way of doing it. Like, don't get me wrong, like doing a survey and getting some good survey stuff is fantastic, but if you don't need to do a survey, then my top advice was don't do one.
Yeah.
Like the amount of data that's out there that you can use as long as you reference it properly, and not you contact the person and be like, can we use it? That can sometimes be a lot easier to do and a lot quicker as well, which is something that obviously we do internationally, is those proactive campaigns, and it's impossible to do a proactive campaign on the back of a survey, just because it takes so long to put together. So it could be like a waste of time, a waste of money. So it's just making sure everything's as efficient as possible.
The ROI is not that, but on the other side, I would say surveys, when it comes to, we've seen some great success for really state-specific surveys or regions as well, especially in the US, because this is quite an untouched territory. So if you have a really niche, you work for a niche brand and a niche client, and they are actually, you know, just based on this state or this region, it does help them to get a feel of their consumer side, especially from the PR perspective. But yeah, when it comes to international outreach, and especially if you do cover across, I don't know, we have a client that covers most of the regions across the world. Yeah, the survey data will not be as useful as you would think. So yeah, just try to lightly across surveys.
Yeah, I think coming back to surveys though, they can still be like a key tool within the UK market too. We regularly use them for like our travel client. It's great for like passing over consumer insights to both like obviously the client and the journalist as well, so they can utilize like any trend stories, they can back it up with the data too. And it's nice to be ahead of the curve as well, or create your own sort of trend within that too. But yeah, I can see that like they're wanting larger survey pools as well within the UK. I don't know if you've noticed that too, Carrie.
Yeah, so I've actually had a journalist from the Metro specify that they would only accept kind of surveys and studies that had a minimum of 2,000
in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK, of 2,000 participants. So I guess you need to have a massive budget for those kind of things. So,
and then I guess like on the international side of stuff as well, coming back to like research methods, some stuff that works well in the international market just doesn't work in the UK. Like same with you, Metro, I've had them come back saying social listening data is like a no-no, but it works really, really well with some of our international clients.
Yeah, I agree.